it's you. I didn't think you'd show up. What's that? Oh, hey. No, not the hair!
Best show open ever. Welcome to Attack of the Show, everybody. TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. My name is Kevin Perez.
And I'm Allison Haislip, and we're coming to you live from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles.
If Freddy Krueger had a new line at the Baby Gap,
You look adorable.
I might be wearing it. On the show today, Giovanni Ribisi is off Pandora and back on Earth. He's safe. And he's here to talk about the internet porn pioneers in his new movie, Middlemen. And today's gadget prawn is the Samsung personal projector. Its tiny size doesn't actually keep it from throwing up 80 inches of screen almost anywhere. No dirty pictures, please. Unless you're on a subway and everybody has to watch.
Ew, and great idea. Then on Threads, we'll show you how to protest BP in style, and unveil a new line of clothes from Tank Theory featuring designs from today's top underground artists.
Are they on top or underground?
They're both.
Okay.
That's how good they are.
They
They can be both.
Quite the dichotomy.
And finally, we think Chris Gore will be here to review 11-year-old swearing in the ultra-violent superhero film Kick-Ass, and the controversial director Roman Polanski's latest thriller, The Ghost Writer in DB Doomsday. Chris, we're rooting for you. Fingers crossed.
If not, we'll just attach some twine to the lighting grid and Weekend at Bernie's it. It'll be good.
That would be awesome. Weekend at Bernie's.
You a fan of Weekend at Bernie's?
You're not a fan of Weekend at
The
Bernie's?
first one was great. The second one with the treasure chest and the
I did not say Weekend at Bernie's 2.
I was gonna say Weekend at Bernie's 2 jumped the shark, but the first one was about people pretending a dead guy was alive
And it was
moving his arm for him. So, speaking of jump the shark, it might be Shark Week over on some other network.
Whatever.
But it's Jump the Shark Week here on Attack of the Show. We made a graphic for it. That's how you know we are serious.
All right, so each day this week, AOTS will jump the shark in a classic fashion.
And in case you don't know what jumping the shark means, it's the moment on any successful show when, due to one lazy or stupid plot device, that show takes a distinct turn for the worse or does something stunty like we do every day on our show.
Every single day on Attack the Show. So just keep your eyes out, keep them peeled. There's going to be fun stuff coming up.
All right, but right now it's time to run down the top 5 things that are existing on the interweb online internet.
That was a good description. I'm just going to call it around the net.
That's what I would do.
I like starting at 5 because there's only 5 videos, so you normally
It's a great place to start. Could start at 3, rock the boat, but we're starting at 5, and today it starts with walking down the sidewalk. If you happen to be doing that, try not to step on a crack, kids.
Or into one.
Yeah.
It's so many ways.
It's funny because she's a woman. And that clip happened very, very quickly, so there are some things that you might have missed. So it's really like the inception of face plants. So we want to make sure that you soak it all in. There's really some good
It's
stuff there.
Illustrator time.
Yeah, let's put it. Okay, first of all, again, your first role, woman. Okay,
I will
woman.
say her hair is pretty fantastic.
It's pretty, it's very dark brown. And I don't know when a crack becomes a chasm, but that is a gaping hole. And by the way, there's a gentleman in there.
Yes, there is. We would like to point that
I
out.
want that angle. That is
That guy's
a great
getting the ultimate upskirt. Yeah, totally.
She's holding a tripod.
Weird, awkward.
She could use one because that would stabilize her.
Holding a tripod and yet not holding a camera too.
By the way, I added that for the comfort. And finally, handbag. Suspicious. Unattended.
randomly there.
You got to report that to authorities, kids. All right?
If it was
Remember.
her, she was obviously going the wrong direction.
Remember.
Bye,
We just wanted to play with the telestrator. So Moving to.
Alright, in at number 4 today, proof that Hollywood will adapt any video game into a feature film these days.
Yeah, Gears of War and Asteroids, oddly enough, already in development. But now YouTubers over at Half Day Today have released the trailer for Oregon Trail.
You will die on this trail. You
It's like a poop face. I got me another one! That's over 1,400 pounds of meat!
Son, we can only carry back 10 pounds.
Ride the adventure.
Hey, how's that rush? You're gonna get a snake bite!
Ride the drama.
Down here and help me cock this wagon.
God, I told you, I don't want to be a carpenter, I want to be a banker!
Baker's not gonna help me ford this river!
Ride the trail.
How did your brother get dysentery?
The Oregon Trail.
I used to always get yelled at in computer class for that game. I think
Really?
I've told that story before, probably 1,000 times.
You played it a million times.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like over the course of the school year, they would chart the progress of the wagons through the Oregon Trail, and mine
yours was way
always
too-
at the beginning because I was a banker and I'd load up on ammo and just spend all class shooting.
Oh, I see. I thought you were
yeah.
getting in trouble for playing it too much, but you actually just didn't
No,
play it
I went nowhere. My wagon was at the start the entire year.
I just played Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, there's support groups for that.
There are. I'm a member.
But just wait, because they will have to get their wagon across the rapids, which will be
Dude,
very crazy.
That whole dysfunctional family is going to sink to the bottom of the Columbia River while dying of cholera. I didn't do it. I didn't shoot Chris Gore. I didn't do it.
Who are you? And,
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. You see that I was tending to my garden at the time.
okay, calm down. I think we're fine. We're all friends here, right?
My garden is full of deadly hemlock. And that's how I was going to do it. Not with some messy old gun, but with a nice slow cup of tea. The way that Socrates died.
Okay. Lady A, you're freaking me out, and B, we don't really care. So if we could just...
I didn't do it! I mean, of course I wanted to. We all wanted to. But it's almost too good for him, for Chris Gore.
Okay.
I didn't do it!
Okay.
I don't think she did it.
MySpace. Belly dancing is an ancient art of seduction, which may have been practiced for thousands of years in the Middle East by the most beautiful women of their time, right?
And now, let's fast forward to Reno, Nevada in 2010 to see how the art form has progressed.
Stop it!
I'm just gonna say it, she was not afraid to put the belly in belly dance.
No! That was like pesticide from my boner.
But there was a pirate ship.
You think you want a flesh bot, and then you see how fleshy the bot can be, and you go, nah!
Too much flesh,
Good.
Bot. Too much flesh.
Poor pirate ship.
Drugs! They can make even the most boring things suddenly fascinating for hours.
Yep.
Ask that guy.
But we don't know for sure if anyone in today's number 2 Around the Net was on a mind-altering substance, so we'll let you guys be the judge. I think it could go either way. I think a strong case can be made.
Really? Yeah, maybe they weren't high when they decided to empty a bunch of glow sticks into a toilet to watch the color swirl around the bowl? Nope.
This is where the fun starts.
Dude, your hand looks badass, man. I gotta
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's the glow stick in the toilet, though.
Dude, it's changing colors.
Did you ever try that?
I have done far worse sober. But that was like, it was like double rainbows in the crapper. So they had the same.
What does it mean?
Whoa, this is the greatest thing ever.
You know, somewhere out there in the ocean, there is a glitter dolphin now. We've created a new species because of that. And it has a glow stick just jammed in its blowhole.
For the record, if you have a glow stick jammed in the hole, then the rave was a success. I think it's really, that's where I set the bar.
Shoot Chris Gore?
Oh, come on.
Not bloody likely.
Okay.
I mean, we all wanted to kill Chris Gore, sure, but shoot him? Please. I wouldn't be dumb enough to give him the satisfaction.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask, who are you?
I don't care. I should be here. I should be Mrs. Chris Gore. That two-timing lowlife had a decent bone in his body. But no, I'm just a floozy to him. A floozy who got wise.
Well,
that is.
I mean, Gore's a fan of floozies. Let me get that out there.
Your Twitter account?
I get the feeling you're about to launch into some sort of crazy backstory, so if you just want to get it over with, that'd be awesome. Yep, there we go.
Yes.
Yep.
I knew about the weekends in the vineyard and all those expensive sailing lessons. You couldn't fool me, Chris. I knew what you were up to. And that's why I was digging a grave for you in my basement, where I'd bury you alive and cover you with cement so that no one would ever find you in a million years.
I'm not quite sure you should be saying stuff like that if you're a suspect in a murder case. Just putting that out there.
I didn't shoot Chris Gore, but I would have in a heartbeat.
That was a real dramatic sip.
Where do we get Cosmos in the studio? To find that. Stick around for today's number one.
We all scream for ice cream. Up next, did you shoot
Can I
Chris
get a
Gore?
Cosmo? I've been sitting.
Momento, ¿eh?
Massachusetts or Maryland? Minnesota. I wouldn't have got the last word, but I was pretty close. I tried. I knew it was a state. I knew it. It's not on.
Prompter. Today's number one.
Around the net. Well, don't worry, Pettibear. Chris Gore is here and he's here to stay.
And it would appear that the attack of the show has just jumped the shark. Similarly to a season finale of the long-running primetime soap opera, Dallas. At the end of season 7, the character of Bobby was shot and killed. At the end of the 8th season, the character of Pam woke up in her bed and walked to the shower, where her husband Bobby was still alive. The whole season was just a dream. And the finale was a really lame way to get the show out of some pretty awful writing.
That's funny. Okay, Diet Coke's kicking in.
2 minutes.
Wake up, sir.
Feel it.
Feel it?
Yeah.
Getting there. Pretty
That
clear.
was a rough night.
I was
Rough
thinking more.
night. And then forced myself to the gym.
Was that Linus?
Ryan's the glitter dolphin.
That'd be an awesome
We're gonna
matchup.
rehearse this, guys. Here we go. 3.
We do need to have Sparkle Lantern come back.
Hopefully nobody was dancing around in the intersection waiting for the EMS to arrive.
And hopefully that guy got at least got a free cone while they waited for the amber lamps. Amber lamps. Amber lamps. Amber lamps. Also, the effect too. Yeah.
All right.
Amber
Amber
lamps.
lamps.
What if we have a purse snatching tomorrow? Randomly, like Morgan has a purse or whatever, and gets snatched, and like, oh, somebody helping. Oh, save you? Sparkle Lantern? Yeah, we're good. We're good, thanks. Oh, you sure?
Who's
I think
Sparkle
those kind of
Lantern?
moments.
Jump the shark.
20 seconds.
You doing?
Oh, with the StarCraft thing tomorrow? Well, maybe Thursday, but it could be funny to just have a random
Who's Sparkle
something
Lantern?
happens, Sparkle Lantern pops up, like,
10 seconds.
I'm here to help. Ooh, we're good. Are you sure? Yeah, Sparkle Lantern. Are you live tonight?
This is a disaster.
I so wasn't paying attention. Hey, we're
My skirt's
live!
too short.
What?
My skirt's too short to pick that stuff up.
No, it's not. Let's give it a try. Let's test this theory. That is not a statement. That is a hypothesis. No, really? No, don't try. Stop.
All right, I'm doing it all the way down here.
That was like the ending to Requiem for a Dream.
There you go.
No, a bunch of creepos standing in the studio.
Short skirt stayed down. Woo! You're welcome.
Woo, party of one.
All right, today's number one is from a YouTube account with just one video, but it is a doozy. I hate you.
They just felt dancing on the streets.
Oh God, I can't do it this way.
This guy's doing it wrong. One more time. It's so good. One more time. I think he's alive.
No ice cream.
That was the least successful ghost ride I have ever seen.
I actually liked it better that he was dancing with no music. Like, he
Well,
wasn't playing
the
anything.
ice cream truck could have played a little something, but
I know, right?
no.
Seriously, instead of just honking, what was that? I mean, hopefully nobody was dancing around in the intersection waiting for the EMS to arrive, you know?
And hopefully the guy at least got like a free cone while they waited for the amber lamps. Amber lamps. Amber lamps.
Hey, good morning. I can tell from the look on your face that you're relieved I'm alive. As if you were dreaming that I'd been shot and continued that dream for some time. Say, an entire season of a show. Or at the very least, the time it takes to do Around the Net. Well, don't worry, Pet Bear. Chris Gore is here and he's here to stay.
And it would appear that Attack of the Show has just jumped the shark. Similarly to a season finale of the long-running primetime soap opera Dallas. At the end of the season 7, the character Bobby was shot and killed. At the end of the 8th season, the character of Pam woke up in her bed and walked to the shower where her husband Bobby was still alive. The whole season was just a dream. And the finale was really a lame way to get the show out of some pretty awful writing.
Wearing his leather bracelets.
Yeah, he wears more too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In other places.
For the support.
We know you love buying gadgets, but unless you're mega rich, you probably can't afford them all.
No, but don't worry, because Gadget Prawn is here to save your wallet. Have you ever looked at a wall and wondered why it did not have an image or movie on it?
I have, and that's why we have the Samsung personal projector.
Duh.
Samsung gives you the power of projection to go with the HO3 projector. Measuring only 1.5 inches high and just under 3 inches wide, this little gadget uses LED and DLP technology to project bright, detailed images on up to an 80-inch screen. Connect a PC, digital camera, or other video source, and even store presentations on a micro SD card, and all for $300.
Boom.
Look at this adorable little thing.
Thank you. Man, the projector's cute too. Shut up.
Wow. All right, the Samsung SPH03 Pico projector is so small, it's almost 3 by 3 inches wide and 1.5 inches thick. It weighs about half a pound and fits into the palm of your hand. Ta-ta! But how's the overall design? It's a cube.
Yeah, it's a cube. There you go. That's the major aesthetic here. It's a tiny little guy. I don't mind it at all. I like the battery is easily removed from the bottom. The little kind of the buttons on top, but they're kind of flush with the top. It's cool. Touch sensitive design. I do not like. Well, we'll get to it in a second. Focus adjuster is on the side. There's a micro SD card slot as well. And here's the thing: the back, the part that you actually have to pop out to put in your video in, the mini USB ports. You have to really kind of get in there with your finger and try to pop it, and if you don't have nails, it's not, you go for it. Not a fun way
easy for me to do.
access your data. Yeah, it wasn't easy for me. I had my acrylics taken off last week.
That's a shame.
It has a built-in speaker and sits on top, like I said, of the rechargeable 2-hour battery, so aesthetically, it's fine. It's totally pleasing.
All right, so Samsung claims that this can project from almost any media source. That's a really hefty claim, so how easy was it to set up?
Pretty easy. Once you can get that damn back door open, it depends on what you're projecting. So once it's hooked up, you can select your source via the on-screen menu. Media files can be played off a micro SD card or off its 1 gig internal memory, which isn't much, but it's something. It does come with several adapters, which is nice. You have AV, mini USB, WVGA for your PC, so there's plenty of options here.
That's a lot of adapters for a tiny little cube.
Yeah, I mean, you will be carrying around this. I mean, you're going to have to carry around adapters to really go with it. You can play videos off of a flip camera, a laptop. You can hook it up to a gaming console. However you want to do it. Here's the major gripe, though. What? There's no way to adjust the projection angle. It's something called keystoning. So if you're projecting on a not-so-flat surface or on a wall that might have a slight angle, depending upon where you're projecting, you have to use a tripod, which it doesn't come with. So you have to get a separate tripod. And most projectors include some sort of software where you can actually adjust the projection angle within the projector. This one doesn't. I think it's a huge oversight. I think all projectors need to be
It does have
safe.
the attachment to put it on a tripod.
Correct. Yeah, they give you a little screw hole.
So it's small and lightweight, but how's the image quality? Obviously, that's the most important part.
Yeah, and it's so-so. And we're willing to forgive a lot because of its size.
Right.
It can project any size between 9 inches to 6 feet, and it has a WVGA resolution of 854 by 480. But once you go past a few feet, which you're seeing here, the footage just looks blown out.
Yeah, it really does.
Its LED projector has a 1,000:1 contrast ratio. It's only 30 lumens. To put that in perspective, that's the brightness of the bulb.
Right.
Typical home projectors are anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000.
Oh, it's not even close.
This one's 30. And as you saw in that footage of Hot Tub Time Machine, which is known for its amazing high-def imagery, the footage doesn't look as crisp as you want it to be. The speaker quality, again, it's okay. You're not going to host a drive-in movie with this thing, but it's good enough for small presentations. So for the road warrior that's still doing those presentations, this might be for them.
The traveling salesman?
Yeah, exactly.
They still exist? So it's priced at $300, which is on the higher end compared to the few other Pico projectors on the market. So what are we rating this?
Wanted to love it. Unfortunately, we're giving it a 2 out of 5. We like its size. We like its compatibility with media sources. The image quality has got to be better and brighter. And again, there's no angle adjuster, which means you're going to have to go out and buy a tripod. So if this were knocked down to like $150, we'd totally recommend it. But as it stands, 2 out of 5.
There you go. All right, that's it for today's Gadgetpron. But if you have a gadget you would like to see us rate, email us at gadgetpron@g4tv.com. Still ahead, Giovanni Ribisi will join us in studio to talk about his new movie, Middleman.
Yes, and later somebody will review Kick-Ass and Afterlife. Maybe it's Chris Corey has one. I don't know.
His Afterlife.
And it's coming up. Good.
And here's a guy trying to pull off some chair walking. So what happens next? Does he walk across both chairs with ease? Does he just fall flat on his face? Or does he conquer the first chair but fail on the second? Find out when we return.
Can I read through it? It's Tuesday, August 3rd, and here are your top stories. Research in Motion is taking a page from Apple's playbook. The company held a media event today to unveil its new BlackBerry Torch 9800 smartphone. Of course, Steve Jobs has been whipping up the blogosphere with press events for years, and it looks like RIM was feeling the heat. The Torch features 8 gigs of internal memory, a slide-out keyboard, optical trackpad, and a 5-megapixel camera. Not included, a guy delivering the presentation in jeans and a black turtleneck. It's not a big surprise. Category StarCraft 2 has now sold over 1.5 million copies in its first 48 hours. Blizzard's wildly popular PC game has now become the fastest-selling real-time strategy game of all time, as well as the best-selling PC game of 2010. An even more exciting fact, 50% of the people who bought the game are probably playing it right now while wearing their gaming diapers. That's about 750,000 diapers. In other gaming news, over 6,000 retired NFL players are suing EA Games over the Madden franchise. The class action suit alleges that EA used the former players' likenesses in Madden's classic rosters without paying them. Now here's where it gets tricky. If you've ever played Madden, you know that those classic rosters don't feature actual players' names or faces, just generic dudes whose stats are identical to those of the famous players. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the generic White Dolphins quarterback with Dan Marino's stats is probably an analog for Dan Marino. This one may be tough to prove in court. And finally, for at least one person, the hit film Inception turned out to be a nightmare. After seeing the film, director Matthew Vaughn was forced to scrap almost 12 pages of X-Men First Class script because the anti-gravity space battle in Vaughn's film is too similar to the gravity-defying hotel fight from Inception. The Mutant prequel is still slated for a June 3rd, 2011 release, but we're sad that we won't be seeing Professor X kick ass in space. I'm Candace Bailey, and you've just been fed. Yes. Hey, okay, great. That was good speed. Awesome. Thanks. Can I turn this up just a tiny bit? The IFB volume? Just like tiny.
Oh, you want more
Just a tiny. No, just volume. A tiny.
Do you want to talk?
Yeah, a little bit more. Perfect. Thank you.
And then just be careful with your hair, hitting the mic if you can.
I will do my best. Okay. Thanks.
We love it too.
And here's a guy trying to pull off some chair walking. So what happens next? Does he walk across both chairs with ease? Does he just fall flat on his face? Or does he conquer the first chair but fail on the second? And I hope you've all learned your lesson.
Well, this...
I think that's pretty close.
I don't know how they do it.
I mean, you look ridiculous doing it, but
Step it
you're
up,
pretty close
3D,
to it.
everybody. Big time.
Starring Kevin Pereira.
Who's with me? Who's with me? No, I can't wait to go see it. But let's check in with the rest of the world.
Here's Candace Bailey with the news. Hey, thanks, Candace.
Thank you, Candace.
Step it up, 3D, Candace. Yeah.
Oh!
Jig.
That was barn raising 3D. That was
Alabama, guys. Right now, it's time to start the feed. It's Tuesday, August 3rd, and here are your top stories. Research in Motion is taking a page from Apple's playbook. The company held a media event today to unveil its new BlackBerry Torch 9800 smartphone. Of course, Steve Jobs has been whipping up the blogosphere with press events for years, and it looks like RIM was feeling the heat. The Torch features 8 gigs of internal memory, a slide-out keyboard, optical trackpad, and a 5-megapixel camera. Not included, a guy delivering the presentation in jeans and a black turtleneck. In a not a big surprise category, StarCraft 2 has now sold over 1.5 million copies in its first 48 hours. Blizzard's wildly popular PC game has now become the fastest-selling real-time strategy game of all time, as well as the best-selling PC game of 2010. An even more exciting fact? 50% of the people who bought the game are probably playing it right now while wearing their gaming diapers. That's about 750,000 diapers. In other gaming news, over 6,000 retired NFL players are suing EA Games over the Madden franchise. The class action suit alleges the EA used the former players' likenesses in Madden's classic rosters without paying them. Now here's where it gets tricky. If you've ever played Madden, you know that those classic rosters don't feature actual players' names or faces, just generic dudes whose stats are identical to those of famous players. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the generic White Dolphins quarterback with Dan Marino's stats is probably an analog for Dan Marino. This one may be tough to prove in court. And finally, for at least one person, the hit film Inception turned out to be a nightmare. After seeing the film, director Matthew Vaughn was forced to scrap almost 12 pages of the X-Men First Class scripts because the anti-gravity space battle in Vaughn's film is too similar to the gravity-defying hotel fight from Inception. The mutant prequel is still slated for a June 3rd, 2011 release, but we're sad that we won't be seeing Professor X kick ass in space. I'm Candace Bailey, and you've just been fed. Now let's go back to Kevin and Allison.
Thanks, Candace.
I would just like to point out that Candace looked right at you when she was talking about gaming diapers.
What?
Do you have something to tell us?
No. I'm Commando.
Is that why this place
StarCraft or
always
otherwise.
smells over here?
Huh?
Gaming diapers?
No, I Lysol.
Ew.
What? Oh, oust?
All right, clothes. They're what you wear to cover your shameful body.
But they don't have to be all lame and boring.
No.
Cloak yourself in these exclusive threads instead.
When it comes to having a unique fashion voice, it helps if your t-shirt collection isn't spewing out tired-ass catchphrases and nostalgic winks towards your favorite sitcoms. It's time to look beyond Hot Topic, and Tank Theory is a perfect start to your personal renaissance. Founded in 2001, the Boston-based company specializes in what they describe as wearable art. With a wide variety of original designs from today's premier artists, your wardrobe will become a canvas showcasing a broad range of artistic styles ranging from abstract to controversial. The Virgin Harriet, for instance, depicts a big bad Mama Christ wielding dual handguns. Or the American Girl, which, depending upon your interpretation, represents the all-bloodthirsty consumerism of America or women's obsession with Twilight. When you load up on Tank Theory, you'll be making a hell of a statement starting at just $25. If you're looking to let your social conscience shine through but don't want to risk losing street cred, then the Jeff Staple designed BP Pigeon is the sure way to go. Staple, who's famous for designing the coveted Nike Pigeon dunks, is taking out his frustration over the oil crisis by giving his famous bird some sweet revenge, spilling its own waste on the BP logo. All proceeds go to the Oil Spill Relief Fund. To purchase the $36 shirt, contact the Reed Space in NYC. You'll look good while feeling good. And finally, for the connoisseur of truly rare t-shirt art, Upper Playground is releasing an extremely limited 4-piece capsule collection from the celebrated Brazilian street artist Herbert Baglioni. The capsule collection features 3 very unique Baglioni t-shirts, all packed inside a handmade wooden nightstand box with a Baglioni design on the top. At $270, you'll be one of 50 people in the world who'll be sporting these exclusive originals, so take that, Green Lantern t-shirt. So while some of these may seem a tad pricey for just a t-shirt, think of it this way. You're not just buying a t-shirt, you're also investing in art. And hey, chicks dig art.
Twitter-wall, you're here, so we should pay attention to you. Let's see. I'm sure it's justified, but Just Two-Fied writes, would really make this an awesome birthday if Kevin and Allison wish me one on AOTS. Well, happy birthday! There you go. And that's not a gift enough. How about we give you 5 Tank Theory shirts, including this brand new design right now? How about that? Now you're Just Two-Fied. And the rest of you guys can enter the promo code ATTACK at tanktheory.com. That'll get you 25% off all orders for the next 2 weeks. And the first 50 orders with that code will also get a free shirt. So, so there you go. Yeah. Ace it.
I want a free shirt. A new DVD. Whoa! Free shirt. Sweet. I'll just say things when they happen. Fine, Brian, take my shirt.
Aww.
Our new DVDs come out every week. If we didn't review them, you'd never know about them. It's time for DVD Tuesday. You live, film expert Chris Gore! Yes!
I just want to check something really quick. Good enough, good enough.
It's reality. We might still be in a dream.
Yes.
Or zombie Chris Gore. What do you like better?
I prefer zombie Chris Gore.
I like zombie Chris Gore.
Me too.
All right, let's get into it. What's up first?
First we have Kick-Ass.
I loved this film, but it wasn't that big of a hit at the box office, which is unfortunate. Do you think it'll find new life on DVD?
Let's hope so. I mean, this is one of those films that turned the superhero genre on its ear, flipped it around, and threw it out the window, which is what I love about it, because it's really a comic book fan questioning, hey, why aren't there really superheroes? What would it be like? And of course, his first time out, he gets his ass kicked, and hence the name.
And it's sort of surprising that it took this long for the movie to come out. Like, for a movie like this to come out, you know what I mean?
Right, I mean, the concept, it's cool, because the comic book and the film are kind of being made, in a way, simultaneously, developed simultaneously. But I just love this because it's got a heart, it's real, and then also Hit Girl. Who doesn't love Hit Girl?
Who
She's
doesn't?
so awesome.
Mothers do not love Hit Girl.
Mothers don't love Hit Girl, yes.
Now, there's quite a few extras on the DVD, so what stood out to you?
First of all, there's 2 commentaries, one a video commentary, another commentary with director Matthew Vaughn, in which he admits, of course he's directing X-Men First Class, which he admits that he got paid $0 to make this independent film. This is before it was picked up from Lionsgate, but he got paid by keeping the Mistmobile. He got to keep the Mistmobile, which was the modded Mustang in it. But there's a whole load of behind the scenes and a whole little mini documentary on the comic book and the development of the movie and the comic at the same time. Just loaded, and that's what I love. I love a DVD that comes with so many extras like this.
You love your extras.
I love my extras.
So what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is buy it. Buy it.
Hey, guess what, Chris?
Here too.
We're going to agree on this one.
Oh, we finally agree.
Surprise, I like it. All right, what's our next DVD?
Next DVD is Afterlife.
Ooh, all right. Now, this film had a pretty cool trailer, but if you blinked, you would have missed it in theaters. It was barely out. So what did you think about it?
I don't know. I didn't really think a lot when I was watching it, which I think kind of helped my enjoyment of the film. But really, it starts out, Christina Ricci's character gets in a car accident and goes to the morgue where, is she dead or is she a ghost? I don't know, but if creepy Liam Neeson tells you you're dead, you may or may not be.
Oh, there you go. I also heard she's topless within the first 5 minutes of this film.
There is
there you go.
A healthy amount of Christina Ricci nudity. She is not a shy girl.
That's a
just
Black
say.
Snake moan. She let it all out there.
Oh yeah, a lot more here
There
actually.
we go. Do we have any special features besides Christina Ricci nudity?
Commentary, where
Commentary?
the director talks a lot, and then a little behind the scenes.
And
that's
you're
about
like, why is there not more boobs?
it. Right, true.
So what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is, and I never thought I would picture myself ever saying this to our audience, but a movie with tons of Christina Ricci nudity is a pass.
Wow! The boobs don't save it?
The boobs do not save it. I know. It's shocking.
Unfortunate. I know. Are we in a dream? Are we sure we're not in a dream? Oh man, we might be screwed. People are gonna be talking about this forever. All right. So what else are we looking at?
Yes, we have The Ghost Writer.
The Ghost. Okay. Now, just to be clear, this film does not star Nicolas Cage and a flaming skeleton on a motorcycle, right?
Which actually, to me, is one of the greatest comic book movies based on an awesome tattoo. Which is like, that's the original source material.
The only comic book movie based on an awesome tattoo?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
would say so.
So let's talk about the Ghost Writer,
Right.
as in writing.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor plays this ghostwriter who's writing the memoirs of a sort of a failed prime minister of England who may or may not be involved in some conspiracy.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
That sounds pretty clear cut.
And this doesn't sound good, but it's extremely slow moving, and the film really doesn't pay off until the very last scene, typical of a lot of Polanski's work.
Yeah. So.
And please, no jokes, no jokes. That was,
You didn't even realize you said it until you said it either. That's awesome. All right, so any extras of note?
A little behind the scenes and whatnot.
All right.
I should have had a little bit more. An interview with Roman Polanski and behind the scenes of the film.
There you go. Okay, so bottom line.
Bottom line is rent it because that final scene does really make it all pay off if you have the patience to get to it.
So the really slow movie gets a rent while Christina Ricci's boobs get a pass.
I know.
Surprising.
I know.
All right, so you have a quick pick, right?
Yes, a very quick pick
Let's
is
do it.
The Dungeon Master.
There
It's
you
a
go.
documentary about people who play, they play a lot of these World of Warcraft games.
I have no idea what you're talking
And
about.
this
No
this
plays that
one
game.
is hysterical. It's funny. I quite enjoyed it.
It involves body paint, I believe.
There's a body paint. Yes, there's a dark elf in this, and you know what? She's kind of hot as the dark elf. I'm
There you go. All right, Chris, I'm glad you're alive. Thanks for being here. For more gore, follow him on Twitter at @ChrisGore.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Now we're going to go over to Kevin. High five.
Thank you, folks. Do you like seeing young people that may or may not be your friends get hassled and arrested by cops? Well, you're in luck. Campus PD is back for its second season on September 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern. Stick around, everybody. Giovanni Ribisi will join us after the break to talk about internet porn. Seriously, that's what we're talking about.
The feed is brought to you by the General Automobile Insurance Services.
Heaven says, eat me.
Danny. Danny, shut up. Today, some folks take porn on the internet for granted. Sad. But there was a time when the World Wide Web was smut-free. Even sadder. Here's a look at a new film that tells the story of the brave men and women who pioneered online sexy time.
Let me get this straight. You go to the website.
Are you making fun of me?
No.
It feels
You start your thing, right? You finish. You clean yourself off. You go to the filing cabinet. You take out your checkbook.
it's like
and
a
you write
subscription
your
to a
check.
magazine. It's like a subscription to a magazine.
Oh,
People
really?
do that all the time. Yeah, they send in checks.
Or a money order. They go to the bank and get a money order.
Credit cards.
A credit card. Who's going to give you their credit card?
I don't know.
What are they going to punch in the numbers?
Why are you being so
Notarized?
negative?
I'm not being.
Why are you being so
There is
negative?
no program for that. What do you?
People do it with magazines all the time.
You swipe your credit card in the computer.
No, you dial it in. It's zeros and ones. Why are you being so negative?
There is no program for that.
Why are you being so negative?
You're punching your numbers on the credit.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Giovanni Ribisi, everybody! Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing? Do you want to shake hands before a discussion about internet pornography?
Yeah, no.
That's It's that's Comic-Con after stink there. I promise. It's nothing with me personally. Finally, though, a movie that takes two great tastes and puts them together: the internet and pornography. Two of my favorite things.
There you go.
I've said before that for me the internet is sort of Pavlovian. Like when I hear modem handshaking signals, a computer dialing connecting to the internet, I immediately get an erection. Yeah. And it doesn't matter where I am. Do you have the same sort of love and affection for
I don't know. I
dial-up?
think that was a little probably before my time. Before I actually got into, I think initially it was about email for me, and yeah. But no,
I heard they had that as well as pornography when I got into it. I don't think the email thing's going to catch on.
Have you heard about it now?
Yeah, no, some people are doing it.
Yeah.
So the movie though, Middlemen, it isn't so much just about there's pornography on the internet. That's a story that is obviously part of it.
Yeah, I mean that was it was actually a big concern for me. I didn't want to make a movie that was just necessarily exploiting some theme that producers just trying to get people in seats. But for me, I guess a little bit of a gamble because it was a smaller movie, and it really turned into this thing that I think they did such an extraordinary job with. It's really about the American dream and how these guys just sort of get devoured by it.
Mm-hmm. So these guys are the middlemen who devise the way of allowing the average consumer, like me, to pay websites for all sorts of phenomenal pornography.
Essentially they facilitate the transaction between the consumer and the provider. And so technically they never, when they finally came to fruition and had a company, because it's based on a true story.
Right.
When they had the company, they never actually made pornography. They were just facilitate the agents or whatever.
Sure. So in essence, then, when you say it's about the American dream, it's not so much about pornography online, which should be the new American dream. I agree. But it's more about the corruption that comes with extreme power.
Yeah, or the lack of
right?
responsibility, or the lack of even just comprehension when you're making that kind of money. Because what was really interesting was the statistics on the porn industry, which is it's apparently a $13 billion a year industry or something, like that, or even bigger than that.
I mean, I only know the millions that I contribute, so I can't speak. I certainly won't speak to anybody else. Those minute charges, man, they add up. You just watch it tick and go,
It's ridiculous. I know.
And now it's interesting that the tale itself is so cool. Where's the 3D aspect? All movies need to be in 3D these days.
I agree.
Where is...
I couldn't agree with you more.
3D credit cards coming out, 3D boobs, 3D a little bit of everything.
Holograms, everything. Yeah, just living in a bubble, essentially. No, yeah, I do agree. I do,
Are you a fan of the 3D? Or are you like...
I am. I actually have a company that we have a conversion company that converts 2D to 3D, and we're working on a bunch of movies right now. And,
you worked on this one film real quick, Avatar?
Yeah, Avatar. That's right.
Which it's out. I think it's out on DVD now. And you guys did some stuff with making 2D come to life.
Yeah,
very cool. Congrats on that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Is that working out for you?
Yeah, it's working out. No, so yeah, but I do, coming from the having worked with James Cameron and just sort of being influenced by him, I guess, more or less, I do see it as being a potential where, you can even have movies like On Golden Pond or something like that in 3D, and how it does enhance the experience potentially, so.
Do you think?
Avatar.
Do you see it as being a fad for the living room, or do you think it's going to take off in the next few years? Just
I don't know. I think that if you think 20 years or 50 years into the future, where you don't have the glasses and
Right.
maybe you are into holograms at that point, I think that it's going to be maybe par for the course. It's just going to be the way people see movies. I really do believe that. I think that it does contribute. When it's good, when it's correct, and when you have all the math right. There is that aspect of it where people I think are abusing it and not just sort of half-assing. I don't know to say.
No, because they are half-assing.
Yeah, there you go.
When people are vomiting in theaters.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
They're half-assing it.
Yeah.
But I think, to your point, when it's done right, the level of immersion.
Yeah.
It's absolutely there. All right,
Yeah.
Giovanni, thank you so much for coming on, sir. Huge fan. Really appreciate this. You guys, Middlemen opens in theaters this Friday. Check it out.
Still ahead, today's epic fail proves that you shouldn't get into a war of words with a 7-year-old because your face will get smashed. The outside. saying.
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new AOTS, Morgan Webb joins me to co-host and deploys her Marines to fight the Zerg. We'll take a game break with the fastest-selling PC game, StarCraft 2. Then Allison Hayslip takes a meeting with the other guys. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg sit down with her to play good cop, bad cop. And in military tech, we take a look at the Eurohawk, an unmanned plane that carries 3,000 pounds and flies for 36 hours. See it tomorrow.
I missed the Twitter wall.
You can hang out. You want to hang out with the Twitter
I
wall?
think we should look at the Twitter wall.
Oh, let's look at it.
So, here
That's
we go.
cool. It's shiny. It's got a good font. Sans serif. All right, good checking.
I would like to read some Twitters.
All right, let's do that. You got to be more specific with me.
All right. Hopner? Is that how you would say that one?
Sure.
Why not? I want to be on the Twitter wall. I'll kill Chris Gore if I have to. Guess what? You made it on the wall, and you didn't have to kill Chris Gore.
Congrats. No, I'm just laughing that our entire show has spawned a bunch of Chris Gore death threats on the internet. That's awesome.
People see Chris Gore trending, and they're going to be like, what is this?
And Nunchuk real quick says needs a last-minute gift idea for a friend who's an avid video game player and an AOTS watcher. Nielsen Bucks. Get your buddy Nielsen Bucks. Get the kicks on, get him.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, it's time for today's Sassmouth epic fail. Sassmouth epic fail. Blah,
Ironic.
whatever.
We all have our pride, but when a 7-year-old taunts you, sometimes you're better off just letting it go.
You got this? Sweatpants? Alright, now. Okay. Whip? Prove you wrong, kid. Yeah. Right now.
Hubris. It breaks your face.
You know, I've seen that kid before in The Omen. We need to fail him before he kills again, please.
Thanks to our guests Giovanni Ribisi, Chris Gore, and Allison Hayslip. And stick around, Campus PD starts right now-ish.
Now-ish? Ish?
You want any cards to throw on the ground?
I'm glad Chris is alive.
Should I throw my car keys on the ground? Or what's
Oh, so I can take them out?
Coming up on the next AOTS. Morgan Webb joins me to co-host and deploys her Marines to fight the Zerg. We'll take a game break with the fastest-selling PC game, StarCraft 2. Then Allison Hayslip takes a meeting with the other guys. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg sit down with her to play good cop, bad cop. And in military tech, we take a look at the Eurohawk, an unmanned plane that carries 3,000 pounds and flies for 36 hours. See it on the next AOTS.
I missed the Twitter wall.
You can hang out. You want to hang out with the Twitter
I
wall?
think we should look at the Twitter wall.
Oh, let's look at it.
Let's do it. What do we
That's
got?
great. It's shiny. It's got a good font. Sans serif. All right, good checking.
I would like to read some Twitters.
All right, let's do that. You got to be more specific with me.
All right. Hopner? Is that how you'd say that one?
Sure.
Why not? I want to be on the Twitter wall. I'll kill Chris Gore if I have to. Guess what? You made it on the wall, and you didn't have to kill Chris Gore.
Congrats. No, I'm just laughing that our entire show has spawned a bunch of Chris Gore death threats on the internet. That's awesome.
People see Chris Gore trending, and they're going to be like, what is this?
And Nunchuk real quick says he needs a last-minute gift idea for a friend who's an avid video game player and an AOTS watcher. Nielsen Bucks. Get your buddy Nielsen Bucks. Get the kicks on given.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, it's time for today's Sassmouth epic fail. Sassmouth epic fail. Blah,
Ironic.
whatever.
We all have our pride, but when a 7-year-old taunts you, sometimes you're better off just letting it go.
You got this? Sweatpants? Alright, now. Okay.
It's your wimp.
Oh, whip? Prove you wrong, kid.
Yeah.
Right now.
Hubris. It breaks your face.
You know, I've seen that kid before in The Omen. We need to fail him before he kills again, please.
Many thanks to our guests Giovanni Ribisi, Chris Gore, and Miss Lover.
Safety pin in his hand.
I'm just thanking you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just thanking you. Relax. What are you talking about?